Hi everyone, welcome to the E-Content Development Center, Majlis Arts and Science College, Puramannur. My name is Zainul Abid, Assistant Professor, Department of English. English for Professional Success is the title of the open course offered by Department of English for the students from other departments. What I intend to cover in this lecture, two titles from the first module, that is Importance of Communication in Business and 7 C's of Communication. So, let us begin. What is the most important thing that I need to excel in my career? This is probably the most common question that many of us heard from our friends and classmates. And pretty much all the time, when I share my answer, people seem to get surprised because my answer to this pointed question is limited to just one word, that is communication. What is believed that good communication skills are vital to an individual's success in career. Sadly, this is something that many students overlook and fail to develop. Developing communication skills can help many aspects of our life, from our professional career to social gatherings to our family life, especially for growing in today's fast-paced work environment. We cannot take our communication skills lightly. It doesn't matter whether we are students or professionals, we must know how to interact and put forward our ideas among the people. Being able to communicate effectively is perhaps the most important of all life skills. It is what enables us to pass information to other people and to understand what is said to us. We only have to watch a baby listening intently to its mother and trying to repeat the sounds that she makes to understand how fundamental is the urge to communicate. In this lecture, my prime motive is to make an attempt to convince the listeners what is the art of communication and how far it is important in our daily life. I will highlight towards the end of my lecture principles of effective communication and how one can become a gifted communicator. So, let us start with this. What is communication? Which are the means of communication? And what are the 4 skills one should master in order to become a good communicator? All these are simple questions and all of you are able to answer since you have studied it in your first and second semesters. Anyway, let us recap to make sure that we have enough prerequisite knowledge to go further. Communication can be defined as the act of transferring information from one place, person or group to another. There are a variety of means we can use as a medium to communicate. Vocal, visual, written, gestural are some of them. The skills one should master in order to become a gifted communicator can be abbreviated as LSRW. All of you know what each letter stands for: listening, speaking, reading and writing respectively. Among these, listening and reading are receptive while speaking and writing are productive. Now, let us move to the first title, Importance of Communication in Business. Listening to the customers, answering their doubts and providing the services they want before, during and after sales are crucial to become a successful entrepreneur. Business communication can be defined as the process of transferring information from one person to another within and outside the business environment. It can be divided into internal and external, both of which are equally important. External communication is the exchange of information between a business and another person or entity in a company's external environment. These include customers, potential customers, investors, suppliers and so on and so forth. Effective external communication is important as it helps to get the investment and to raise money to run the company, to build the brand and to establish a desired position, to sell the offering, to prevent conflicts, to build relations, to promote the brand and offering and to collect feedback and grow. Internal communication is as important as external communication. It aligns the goals and expectation of the internal audience with that of the organization. Internal audience are employees, shareholders, stakeholders, investors and so on and so forth. Effective internal communication is important as it helps to improve employer-employee relationship, to enforce rules effectively, to enhance innovations, to avoid conflicts, to increase employee satisfaction, and to align the goals of employee with the goals of organization. Apart from these, business communication promotes motivation. It acts as a source of information. It plays a crucial role in altering individuals' attitudes. It helps in socializing and assists in controlling process. Now, let us move to the second title, that is 7 C's of communication, or we can call it 7 principles of communication. The 7 C's of communication is a list of principles that we should ensure all of our communication adhere to. Their purpose is to help ensure that the person we are communicating with hears what we are trying to say. The first one is clarity. It is important to be clear about the purpose of the message we are delivering. The recipient should be made aware of why they are receiving the message and what we are trying to achieve by delivering it. If there are multiple goals, each should be laid out separately. Clarity means accurate, clear, and direct transfer of ideas. In order to achieve clarity, we have to use simple language, common words, and concrete words instead of abstract words. We should avoid jargon and complex structures. The second C stands for correctness. It is essential that both the factual information and the language and grammar we use are correct. If our audience spots errors in either, they will be distracted and our credibility will be greatly reduced. This will reduce the effectiveness of our communication. Language experts say that communication is an art very difficult to master. There is no shortcut to being a gifted communicator. It is learned through consistent practice and constant struggle. The message being communicated must be correct. To achieve correctness, we have to follow some guidelines. We have to check the tone. We have to check whether there is capitalization and punctuation marks. Be sure that there is no syntactic, semantic, or structural mistakes. The third C presents completeness. The message should be complete, that is, it must include all the relevant information as required by the intended audience. The complete information gives answers to all the questions of the receivers and helps in better decision making by the recipient. We have to make sure that the message answers the 5 W's, that is, what, where, why, when, and who. Check whether message provided all necessary information and answer the questions asked. We can include additional information if desired. We can expand the fourth C as concreteness. The communication should be concrete, which means the message should be clear and there should be no room for misinterpretation. All the facts and figures should be clearly mentioned in a message so as to substantiate whatever the sender is saying. The vague and ambiguous message will get wrong responses. We should use clear and image building words. We should include exact facts and figures, try to convey using active voices. The fifth C represents conciseness. The message should be precise and to the point. The sender should avoid lengthy sentences and try to convey the subject matter in the least possible words. The short and brief message is more comprehensive and helps in retaining the receiver's attention. The beauty of diction lies in its conciseness. Be as brief as possible. To attain conciseness, we should avoid vagueness and unnecessary repetition. The second last C stands for consideration. The sender must take into consideration the receiver's opinions, knowledge, mindset, background, and so on and so forth. In order to communicate, the sender must relate to the target recipient and be involved. We have to look at the matter through the listener's perspective. We should consider needs and problems of the receiver. And the last C is courtesy. Courtesy is the most important quality of the messenger. Everyone gains where courtesy reigns is an old but wise saying. Courtesy means politeness. It is an attitude that shows respect for others. It is not enough to use polite expressions like thank you, kindly, we appreciate, please, so on and so forth, but the whole letter must have a courteous tone. To achieve courtesy, we have to be sincere. We should use expressions that show respect and should be thoughtful and appreciative of receiver's point of view. We should avoid humor and discriminatory or biased language. So, working with other individuals, be it within our team or other teams in the organization, is the norm in today's corporate setting. Therefore, communication becomes a critical skill. When we communicate well, we will become more efficient. We tend to command respect among our peers and we maintain a healthy relationship with our colleagues. Keep in mind the 7 C's of effective communication and accelerate career growth. Thank you.